So, because some are saying I'm as big as the bagpipes, I got this call today and it was like, Scott, please save us. Please save us. And I don't know what to do, so I thought I'd try to make a mixtape. Scott, one of the greatest men of all time, come to see you like the big megalodian shark they had observed sitting through a jail. Said to have power of the most amazing titans. Spirit by spirit lined up against him, willing to give up the fight of the world. He was the nigger that understood. The job is what he'd do, and the job is what he could. Rhyming. You had heard it in your car. Rhyming. It's what I had to do. I was the star. So back in the day, Scott Robinson was just a little boy in the neighborhood, and everyone knew that he always meant well. He had gone to a private school that was a very friendly place, and he had made all sorts of friends. What came of this little gangster, this little Dennis the Menace, this oh so friendly, oh so wishing well Bart Simpson? He was the greatest. He had achieved it all. You actually want to know his net worth. His net worth at the time was one of the underground celebrities that had been known. To control space and absolutely do the biggest. And even for the record, try to find ways to rap off the dome. It was silly, it was guilty, it was nifty, it was splifted. After Scott Robinson found he was so gifted, everyone knew that it was him on the streets doing the meanest. And absolutely, he smoked green the mostest. Absurd. Why would you do this? This is the most you can smoke weed. But it was bad and it always felt like I had a need. A need to win. A need to establish all that is good. Cause I'm Scott Robinson from the neighborhood. Used to visit the local skate parks. And they said it was how big the niggers got. It was dark. Backgrounding. Scott winning. Never understanding crazy unbelievable scening. Cause he was just the guy trying to do what's right all the time. And he had a couple of houses that were bigger than yours and mine. They say he could inherit one of the biggest islands under the USA. That's why they were alarmed. That's why they were alarmed at how big it was. Scott Robinson. One of the winners. Always winning. Sorry, there's gonna have to be an advertisement.
We presents the I Told Him Tour. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Don't miss Burner Boy.
Bigger. Dr. Z was one of the niggers. Okay, look, kid. I'd grown up. You didn't think I'd make the city good, eh? But he got the buck. That's how I was winning. One of the biggest producers of all time. I swear you're 50 Vince. SAS knows your rhyme. Rainbow Six was here. The most recent, the most timing. And Scott Robinson could forever get absolutely grinding. Winning. Digging. Just pouring the music. Scott Robinson. One to be the type with Cupid. Jewels. Diamonds shining on him. One of the best types they had ever seen. Grinding on the wrong one. What was with you, man? I couldn't believe you were so insane. And Scott Robinson said, I'm Dr. Z, you know my name. Still a winner. Still grinding, still winning. This is Scott Robinson, trying to get with it. One of the men the CIA was against who was allowed to put posters on his wall. Because after he was so big, he understood maybe the number 1 was easy to fall. And they sent Rainbow Six. Get a full detail. Can I know every second of this man's life? Well, that would be well. After the security detail was complete, Scott was known to be number 1, something like the Illuminati. Dr. Z. War. He had to do the right thing. After his music was so beautiful and he was just so climbing, it was Scott Robinson finding ways to be climbing.
This is a 50 Wins production.
That music, it was still the same. Scott Robinson had just played the Pharaoh game. If he could absurdly see what was going on with World and the Telegram Force, he had to find a way to play a special little chore. Black music being stolen. Oh, it was so bad. They said he couldn't upload his flow. It didn't make them glad. It was real issues, real action on the top. Real terrorist acts that occurred. Mech Gear or Bad Scott. We had to stop this. We were the heroes. Shit was shit. It was what we said, you know.
Welcome to Some Peaks, one of the best snowboarding adventures you've ever seen. Sonic, one of the best ways you can come forth with me, baby.
Scott had loaded the weapons. 2 M249s. He was going to take him down. He had to stop this wrong. It was bad. He was sick. He had taken down all the bad guys. Flow to promote. So winning. Scott Robinson, always grinning. Too fast, too sane, too steady. Scott Robinson, I'm coming at you, baby, and I'm always ready. I have the way to do this, and I'm gonna win the mission, you see. Because Scott Robinson was the absolute, just #1 biggest G. If you could honestly tell who's wrong with winning, Scott Robinson would never find the time for sinning. Because all he really wanted to do was make the best difference the way he lived. And if he was the guy who shined the biggest, it was it. He was the richest. He was the glamour. Finding ways to patrol with the shaman. If you could ever believe that Scott Robinson wasn't grinning, you'd understand he was winning. The arts, he worked hard. One of the boys who had made it in the yard. He would absolutely have to be the most shining thing, with the absolute biggest grin. Military forces, he was about to shoot. A bad guy in the military who was insisting on something bad. The bad guy in the military could probably control 100 assault rifles at any time. It was super combat. He was coming to win. Dr. Z just had a special laser tank. The one he had showed at the Oilers Stadium. It was great. One flashing, one shining. Always absolutely rhyming when you were just getting with the grinding. Come with this. Why is so forth? I'd absolutely just seen you play the chore. This was rap. This was advanced. A fight in the war while they all danced. Libraries, fields of research centers, the biggest men in the world at one time, controlling about something worth the old rhyme. He was known at Unit, he was known at Pop, he was known at the White House, he was known at Kensington Palace, where Xi Jinping had said, he better mean no malice. I assure you, sir, shake my hand. I mean no malice. I'm Scotty from the land.
Milk chocolate beyond words. Swiss Classic by Lindt.
Track expenses with the CIBC Smart Account.
Well, after all this time, I'm sorry, I don't think CBC's a sponsor. I don't think CBC's a sponsor. But I had to get on with this. 50 vids. Dr. Z.
This is a 50 Wins production.
I was winning. One of the masters that had all the candy. If you thought I was gonna play you stupid, you suddenly walked in, controlled you, played you dandy. Smith grinning, too wild. It was the bad guys from the town. All of Scott's friends from all of his phases of life had become some sort of new life. Bad magic, still winning. After this, there was no sinning. Scott said if something in my head could give me the purple ball, there would at least be infinite Jesuses, because we balled. We was happy. The world was amazing. The amazing malls that had been built was such a feat. You could walk through and we had to be in paradise. Because the world was the best with the dice. Charming. What could I do with my hand, not the dice? If I was Smith, if I was the wife, what was going on with the knife? It was too cool. We was turning. Coming in the land just absolutely so lonely. And after Mark, my friend from grade 5, came in the box, Simpson Batmobile. We had to kneel. The other friend named Mark with a C, he was a G. He had an SUV based on Fort McMurray mine trucks. We couldn't believe this. Evan had a twist. Too cool. I'd trade something cool for you dudes. If the Illuminati was going to put me through the life of Dr. Z, mental hospitals, nothing to be ashamed of. Total coolness, we was all a little bit Dr. Z. And as we was coming through, we could see that this world was with the penitentiary. Scott had suffered, he had to go through the psychiatry system. He had to speak to his doctor and he had truly been misdiagnosed. No, it wasn't a joke, he wasn't schizophrenic. He was one of the good men they had used to crush the world. Dr. Z, the greatest. Continuously singing and winning. Who are his other friends? Oh, Chris and Corey. There was Bebop and Rocksteady. And Troy, he had put up on a spaceship.
This is a 50 Wins production.
And then there was Keith. Keith had been forced to control the mech gear. Cameron was going to simply take it easy and control all of the ski resorts. Stefan was something. He had to give him something special. Why not his side of Canadian cannabis? It was so amazing and it was so rich. His Scott Robinson's computers never really glitched. He was the one. The beat is run over. Or Balderson's cheese? Yeah, that's yummy.
Balderson. Over 140 years of Canadian craftsmanship.
We all need some Baldersons. Apple. One of the biggest things in the world right now.
Power up with iPhone 15 Pro. Right now, buy iPhone 15 Pro and get iPhone 15 on us with Trade Up.
Yep. So there was a boat Scott's top 30, and never mind, I can't mention them all right now. They were all stocked up in Scott's ship. And he was just a local G, average is G. And Scott had designed something that the average G would make it up to genius by, if he chose legit industry. And if he chose legit industry, he would make it up to the level of G that has a spaceship. And after every G had a spaceship, well, Scott Robinson had his own spaceship. See, some Gs were just insisting on little local 39-room campers. But some of the bigger boys back in the game, they were with the whole resorts. You come around, you see the things, And Scott Robinson could work on centralizing the security energies, but security energies was not his thing because he didn't want to take security. He was really big in, no, he wasn't confident in security because the security guys were the ones who even knew what they were doing. And Scott didn't want to keep the security around. But absolutely, after he took the mission in, he saw the spaceship, and they just sat around eating fries and dim sum.